Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The air over Subic Bay is thick with salt and diesel, a blend of nature and industry that has defined this harbor for generations. The early morning haze clings to the water, shrouding the silhouettes of ships in a mysterious veil. But beneath the calm, something new is stirring, an undercurrent of change that is almost imperceptible to the untrained eye. The surface may seem peaceful, but the bay hides secrets just below. Cargo ships and fishing boats move as usual, their routines unchanged, weaving through the waters as they have for decades. Life on the bay appears to follow its familiar rhythm, but behind guarded gates and warning signs, a transformation is underway, one that few outsiders are allowed to witness. This is the rebirth of a fortress, quiet, deliberate, and hidden from public view. The old walls now stand beside new steel and concrete, merging history with ambition. Heavy machinery rumbles where only commercial activity once thrived. The sound of engines and clanging metal echoes across the water, signaling a new era. Construction crews sworn to secrecy work around the clock, not on warehouses but on the Philippines' largest and most advanced naval base. Their labor is relentless, their purpose clear but unspoken. The project is shrouded in secrecy. Officials offer only vague statements, sidestepping questions and deflecting curiosity. Behind closed doors, decisions are made that will shape the region's future. The scale and the players involved hint at a much bigger story, preparing for an uncertain future where alliances and rivalries are constantly shifting. Every new pier and bunker is a move in a high-stakes geopolitical chess game, each decision calculated to strengthen defenses and project power. China watches closely, its surveillance ships never far from the horizon, but Manila keeps its plans under wraps to avoid provoking a reaction. Diplomats tread carefully, aware of the delicate balance. This calculated silence leaves the world guessing about Subic's true capabilities. Analysts and journalists speculate, but the real answers remain hidden. For Olongapo city residents, life continues, but they notice the new ships and the distant sounds of construction. The skyline is changing, and with it a sense of anticipation grows. They remember the American era, the quiet years, and now, the arrival of modern vessels. The echoes of history mingle with the uncertainty of what's to come. Whispers grow, some hope for prosperity, others fear a prelude to conflict. In markets and alleyways, questions linger in the air, unanswered. The answers lie within Subic's guarded perimeter, where only a select few know the full extent of what is unfolding. The world is watching, waiting to see what emerges from behind the fences. Every development is scrutinized, every rumor amplified. Subic Bay's silent transformation could tip the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific, altering the region's security landscape for years to come. The stakes have never been higher. In this game of shadows and strategy, Subic Bay stands at the center of a new chapter in history. For years, Subic Bay thrived as a commercial hub after the U.S. Navy's departure in 1992. Warehouses filled with goods, not weapons, hotels replaced barracks. But as tensions rose in the South China Sea, commerce alone could not guarantee security. China's assertive moves made clear that the Philippines needed more than trade to protect its sovereignty. Subic's deep, protected harbor became the obvious answer. The shift from commerce to military has been gradual but decisive. The Philippine Navy began leasing sections, then expanded its presence dramatically. In 2022, the government approved relocating most of its fleet to Subic. Now, the hum of commerce is joined by the discipline of a modernizing military. Subic is no longer just a gateway for goods, it's the nation's shield. Economic prosperity and national security are now inseparable here. The bay's transformation signals a new era for the Philippines. Subic Bay was once the crown jewel of U.S. military power in the Pacific, a vital outpost that projected American influence across Asia for generations. For nearly a century, Subic Bay supported American operations, serving as a launch pad for missions from the jungles of Vietnam to the deserts of the Persian Gulf. It was a hub where strategy, logistics, and diplomacy converged. The base itself was more than just a military installation. It was a bustling city, alive with the energy of U.S. Navy personnel, Filipino workers, and their families. It stood as a powerful symbol of the U.S.-Philippines alliance, and became a major economic engine, providing jobs, commerce, and hope for the surrounding region. During the Vietnam War, Subic Bay was the 7th Fleet's lifeline, a critical supply and repair point that earned it the nickname Pearl of the Orient. Ships came and went around the clock, and the base pulsed with activity. But by the early 1990s, a wave of Filipino nationalism swept the country. Protests erupted, and the Filipino Senate fiercely debated the future of the U.S. presence. When a new treaty failed to pass, the American era at Subic Bay was brought to an abrupt end. Then in 1991, nature intervened. Mount Pinatubo's massive eruption blanketed the region in ash, damaging the base and sealing the decision. The U.S. withdrew in 1992, ending nearly a century of military presence. The local economy, once dependent on the base, collapsed almost overnight. The bay, once filled with the sounds of industry and life, fell eerily silent. Yet the strategic value of Subic Bay never truly faded. Its deep, sheltered harbor remained one of the finest in Asia, a natural asset that could not be erased by politics or disaster. The world-class infrastructure, piers, shipyards, and warehouses stood ready, waiting for a new purpose and a new vision to bring them back to life. The American chapter had closed, but the geography that made Subic vital endured, promising new opportunities for those willing to seize them. The bay's legacy lingered in empty buildings and quiet streets, silent witnesses to a bygone era of power and partnership. But Subic's story was far from over. Its spirit, shaped by decades of history, continued to inspire hope and ambition. Its next chapter would be written by those who recognized its enduring importance. Visionaries, leaders, and entrepreneurs determined to revive its fortunes. The stage was set for a new era as Subic Bay awaited its next transformation and a new role on the world stage. After the Americans left, Subic Bay slumbered as a military asset. Once a bustling hub of activity, the vast docks and barracks stood silent, their purpose uncertain in a changing world. The Philippine Navy, constrained by a tight budget and a fleet of aging ships, could only watch as the base gradually transformed into a commercial zone. The echoes of military drills faded, replaced by the hum of civilian trade and industry. But as China's ambitions in the South China Sea grew bolder, Manila realized its vulnerability. The shifting tides of regional power made it clear that the Philippines could no longer afford complacency. The need for a modern navy and a strategic home became urgent. Leaders and strategists began to envision a revitalized Subic, one that could anchor the nation's maritime defense. Subic's revival began with modest repairs, but the ambition was clear: consolidate the fleet in a location with immediate access to contested waters. Every nail hammered and dock restored was a step toward reclaiming lost strength. The Navy formally opened Naval Operating Base Subic, taking over key areas once left idle. The ceremony marked not just a reopening but a renewed commitment to national security. New command centers, upgraded logistics, and modern facilities soon followed. Advanced technology and improved infrastructure began to transform Subic into a state-of-the-art military installation. The government poured resources into transforming Subic into a 21st century naval hub, investing in both people and technology to ensure the base could meet future challenges. The goal: a self-sufficient base capable of supporting sustained operations far from home. Subic would become the backbone of the Navy's ability to project power and defend the nation's interests. The quiet years are over. Subic is now the sharp point of Philippine defense. Warships once again cut through the bay's waters, and the base hums with renewed purpose. The Navy's presence is growing, and so is the nation's resolve. Every new recruit, every training exercise signals a country determined to protect its sovereignty. Subic Bay is no longer a backwater, it's the front line. The base stands ready, a symbol of vigilance and national pride. The sleeping giant has awakened. Subic's transformation is a testament to the Philippines' determination to defend its future. The Philippines is taking command of its future, one ship, one sailor, and one bold decision at a time. Subic Bay's value comes down to geography and China. Its deep harbor on Luzon's west coast is a short sail from contested waters like Scarborough Shoal and the Spratlys. From Subic, the Navy can reach flashpoints quickly, maintain patrols, and resupply with ease. The bay is also near the Luzon Strait, a vital choke point between the Philippines and Taiwan. In any regional crisis, Subic is a critical staging ground for the Philippines and its allies. Its dual proximity to the South China Sea and Taiwan Strait makes it a linchpin in Indo-Pacific security. Subic's quiet construction is building a major roadblock to China's ambitions. The Philippines can't fortify Subic alone. The U.S. leads the charge, co-investing in new facilities through the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. American ships now visit regularly, conducting joint patrols and exercises. The U.S. is upgrading piers, communications, and logistics, rebuilding its old home for new allies. Japan provides patrol vessels and radar, enhancing maritime awareness. Australia joins in large-scale exercises, sharing expertise in naval operations. Even France makes port calls, signaling support for a free and open Indo-Pacific. Subic is becoming a hub for a multinational coalition. This web of partnerships transforms Subic into a de facto allied base. By opening its doors, the Philippines leverages its location to draw in powerful friends. The alliance of steel at Subic is both a physical and diplomatic bulwark. Together, they create a formidable front against aggression. Inside Subic, modernization is moving at breakneck speed. Old piers are replaced with state-of-the-art berths for the Navy's newest warships. New command centers fuse data from ships, aircraft, and radar, giving commanders real-time awareness. Logistics hubs and revived shipyards like Agila Subic restore the bay's repair capabilities. Partnering with U.S. firms, the Philippines can now service large vessels on site. Subic is engineered as a complete ecosystem for projecting naval power. It's not just a place to park ships, it's a launchpad for sustained operations. The investment is a clear signal: the Philippines is ready to defend its future. Subic Bay's unique edge lies in its geography, openness, and legacy infrastructure. Its deep, sheltered harbor can host the world's largest warships, even U.S. supercarriers. Unlike exclusive bases, Subic welcomes allies, enabling seamless joint operations and shared intelligence. American, Japanese, and Philippine ships can all resupply and coordinate from the same location. The legacy infrastructure, roads, power, deep water channels, gives Subic a head start over other regional bases. Revitalizing these assets is faster and cheaper than building new ones. The Agila Subic shipyard is among the world's largest, offering unmatched repair capacity outside Singapore. No other base in Southeast Asia combines all these features in such a strategic spot. Cam Ranh Bay lacks openness. Singapore is farther from flashpoints. U.S. bases in Japan are further north. Subic sits at the nexus of geography, policy, and potential. It's an indispensable asset in the Indo-Pacific security architecture. Subic Bay's transformation is a high-stakes gamble for the Philippines. The reward, a credible deterrent, stronger alliances, and economic growth. Subic's open-door policy amplifies these benefits, making aggression riskier for adversaries. But the risks are real. Subic becomes a prime target in any conflict, drawing the Philippines into superpower rivalries. There are concerns about sovereignty and dependency on foreign allies. The government must balance allied support with national independence. Subic is both a shield and a potential flashpoint. The nation must weigh security against the risk of becoming a battlefield for larger powers.